Yeah. I'm going to have to. It's live now. Here's what's up. Oh, I wonder if it captured that. Is there a setting that captured that? Maybe it saw all of that, and maybe on replay it'll show it'll show all of that. But for the last 15 minutes, I have thoroughly enjoyed everybody's chat. I have been watching chat. I have been enjoying the conversation. I have been talking and sharing information, and all of it's gone. I wonder if it's actually captured in the playback. If it is, because I said hi to everybody. I forgot to hit the stupid go live button. I was live on OBS, but I was so not live over there. All right, y'all, what's going on? Lynn, can you hear me? Can you hear me talking? That's ridiculous. Look at that. That's like that's like crazy. So I said all sorts of amazing, nice things about everybody. I told Moki that his picture with his son this morning was amazing. I told Cindy that it was super nice of you to ask people to hit the thumbs up button. I told Lynn that it was super cool that she dropped off a light. Well, that I picked up a light from her and got to meet her friend Bryce and picked up a coral. That coral, actually. I talked about that thing a little bit. There was this whole lot of, whatever, it's all gone. I talked about these lights. I talked about this power supply. I talked about this power supply that you can't see because I haven't hit the damn button. This one, and this one, and this light, and this light. Yeah. What's up, Juan? How you doing, buddy? Savage, my man. I talked about Moki's premiere this morning where he was keeping up with chat. I talked about a lot of stuff. I did go over 1,000 subs. Thank you, Taylor. And now I just need to create some stinking content so I can get some watch hours. Because apparently that's how it works. But whatever. Jim thought it was booze and boxes kind of stream. You know what? It's not booze and boxes. It's lights and the dumbass who's operating the camera. That's what it is. It is this guy with this hair not pushing the right buttons to make some things happen. But hopefully, and it was really nice of y'all to hang out too. Thank you very much. Because a lot of you just hung around for the last 15 minutes waiting for absolutely nothing because I never hit go live. All right, so I was actually, I realized nothing was working properly when I asked a question and nobody answered. Which light? What was it? We talked. This is that AliExpress 470 nanometer, really nice bar that has absolutely has my attention because it is doing good things for reefs. And it's $50. Who doesn't like $50 light? And oh, and Taylor, I even said something about you and the dude you hooked me up with, who I already like without even paying attention to what he'd been doing, who's modifying a Prime. I rambled on for a while. Maybe it's captured. Who knows? Stop it with the Gym Bright. That's not cool. It's not going to work. This, David, is just an AliExpress light that costs $50 and does a really good job. And if I got a little creative, Cindy, don't listen if you're still here. If I got a little creative, I could turn this into an Orphic. It's just a matter of buying some different... oh, you know what? Let me explain real quick. Some different LEDs at different wavelengths. Real quick. This is the power supply that came with this light. This is a 660 milliamp cheap power supply, non-dimming. I cut the connector off because you know what? We don't need this. This is a rapid LED power supply. It's dimming. It's 0 to 10 volt dimmable. So any controller that has a 0 to 10 volt interface can dim this light with this power supply. So that connector I cut off, I put there. This is the dimming signal from my Profilux 4. This is the power to this light. It's that easy. So don't be scared to buy new power supplies. And do some fiddling with your equipment. I see the prime and I'm excited. Stop it, Juan. Gonna get me in trouble. David, you gotta stop, bro. This is just a light that I modified. Which one are we looking at? Talk about the 470 light? Braveheart got it. Ask me questions about the 470 light, and I'll disassemble it first, if that's okay. 4 little screws. That's it. Ask me questions that I can answer while I'm mindlessly working. I'd like to see that turned into an Orphic. Neil, I can do that. Let me get some LEDs on order. Right now I have 450 and 470 diodes on order. And if you know those colors, you already know what I'm fixing to do. But I can also order some 4. So if I had my way, and I think I was talking with Devin about this with Moki and Daniel the other day. If I had my way, if I needed to just make a light with 3 diodes, 3 wavelengths, it would be 450, 470, and 420. Later, Lynn. Oh, Lynn's going over to do some par testing. That dude Bryce, I haven't been in his house. I met him. He's cool. And he's growing some cool stuff. And I think he's just being very nice when he says he really liked the color of the... I gave him a cherry bomb. He really likes the color of the cherry bomb that I took over his place. We did a straight up trade. I dig trading. Right, that's some old school bartering business right there. And I like it. Salty trout. Dude who wants to come over and buy some corals from me, but I saw today that he was smoking some trout. I'm like, dude, you show up with trout and your corals got cheaper. All right, here's what's up. 4 screws. They're out. Lynn is cool. Now that she's gone, we can talk about her. Lynn is super cool. She gets all sorts of cool corals. She's super generous. I try to give her stuff when I have the opportunity. I hooked her up to this week with a couple of cool things. Go follow Lynn Reef Nerd on Instagram, and you won't be disappointed. I promise. All right. You all know I've already had this apart, right? So this is thermal compound, like you have underneath CPUs in a PC. It was already there. I just refreshed it when I took it apart. So that's the goo you see here. That goo is totally acceptable and expected. If it's not there, then they're doing something wrong, actually. Oh, it's like swallowing a sword, which is odd to say while streaming on the internet. Okay, so a couple things. Nice, right there. I talked about the thermal adhesive. It's right there, right? So all I did, because I was too busy yammering and not looking, all I did was slide that right out of that body. So right now, you see the thermal adhesive in there? Nothing funky. That's the way it should be, because it uses this body, this extruded aluminum body, as its heatsink, which is as it should be. That's what you should expect. Between you and her, y'all can restore the barrier reefs. Dude, Juan, I saw that you had those lights on order, Cindy, and I think that's awesome. I'm looking forward to you using them. Juan, this project is I think we're talking about this. I want to take this light and I want to turn it into something else. I want to turn it into another light. I want to give it a different spectrum. So 470, as far as I'm concerned, and this is arguable, 470 is for us. So if you buy a Reef Bright and you hang it off your T5s, you're like, damn, that pop is good. That's the 470. It's not science, or it's not magic. It's a little bit of science. Juan, the way I hear it, that dude, Bryce, he's got us all covered. My understanding, this whole basement it's like Jason Fox's house. Oh, I got thermal crap on me. So if I take this light and I replace some of these diodes, and let me see. I'm not going to be able to get you. Maybe I can get you a little close. See this? Plus, minus. It's that simple. This diode is a diode that you'll see in most any bar lights. Now, I think Orphic's a little different, and I'm going to prove that to myself at a later date. I don't know, but I think it's different. But this is a diode that's available everywhere. It's a 3-watt. Same thing you'll see inside a Reef Bright. So if I take 470, 450, 470, 450, blah, 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 and I work my way down the line, I've now created a more dynamic light. If I 470, 450, 420, and I do that every 3, and I take it all the way, then I'm giving myself a big fat blue bar that will, yeah, that's still going to give me really decent par and reduce shadowing. So, yeah, Juan, I will send you, I'll DM you so you'll know what's up. So this is it. This is all that's in this light. Decent solder joint. Comment made earlier today was that the flux wasn't cleaned off of this. Absolutely a thing. Flux used to be very acidic back in the day. Back when I was fixing planes, you'd never left flux on there. If this was an airplane, I would totally clean that flux off. Flux is what helps solder to wet and adhere. Not necessarily adhere, but certainly to wet, to flow nicely. It's the paste stuff that you've seen me use. Where the hell is it? Yeah, well. Before, when I've soldered live, I absolutely use flux. Always use flux. Oh, here's some better stuff. Go buy this. If you're going to solder, go buy this. Got it? Okay, good. Because that's how you're supposed to solder. So every light has its own lens. Every lens is removable. Every diode is removable. And there is nothing to this. And I have an itchy nose. $50. It's actually less than $50. If you buy the bigger ones, $52. And this is a freaking steal. And it looks like we almost sold them all out of the U.S. warehouse because I keep talking about it. And I knew that was going to happen, but whatever. Let me stick this back in here. It's tight like a tiger. Something you want to look for? is as intrinsically safe as possible. That's an old phrase from the Air Force, but what that means is a nice sealed unit that won't allow vapors or moisture or whatever the crap to get in there. Note that gasket. There's another one on this end. The body is sealed, and so is the plastic cover. This light may be submersible, but don't do that because that's dumb. I mean, do it if you want to see. If you're gonna do it, make a video. And if it breaks, send it to me and I'll fix it for you. But don't do it, because then you'll break your light. I'm gonna assemble this later because I'm fiddling with it. Let me look. Still, yes, please. Anthony Rodriguez, what's up? Anthony Rodriguez, I would not modify this for use with a Radeon. So hanging this off of, I'm going to go to this camera. Hanging this light adjacent to an XR whatever, XR15, XR30 running AB+, you don't have to modify this light because the Radeon is taking care of the wavelengths that you need the Radeon to take care of. And this is adding to the wavelengths where the Radeon is a little weak. And I think you will like the results because that's what I did. That's how I configured my display first. This is the light that was hanging off my display next to a Radeon Gen 4 XR30 running straight up AB+. And the pop without this light is totally noticeable. I'm telling you, pop's 470. It's got to be. But when you turn this light on with that Gen 4, you got some sweet light. Y'all have seen my my cherry bomb in the display. The color of that thing has improved a whole lot, and it was because of this 470. I'm sure of it. Guess what? I got those screws in. Seth, what kind of par do they put out? Is it similar to the par of a T5? It is way more than the par of a T5. And Anthony, if you send me a DM on Instagram, I will provide you the data so you can make the determination yourself. Because I don't want you to just go on my opinion. I want you to have the data. Because old boy Dave Savage, a long time ago, and this is sage advice, and I've known it for years. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And most of them stink. But if you have the data, it's tough to challenge that, right? Yeah, DM me though, or I'll forget. I'm sorry, I suck like that. And I'll remember in like weeks when I play this back to update the description because I suck at that too. I need an intern. And I'm not good enough to have an intern. Any idea when Mobius... Dude, I wish I knew, Dave. I wish I knew. Not soon enough. I know they're working on it, but not soon enough. Anthony Rodriguez, I would also prefer you go with LEDs as well, but that's a personal preference. That's just my personal preference, getting in the way of my advice. But I'm an LED guy. I have two T5 fixtures, and they're in the garage. No, not like that. They're intended for reefing, and they're just hanging up, not being used. I'm not talking about shop lights. Still haven't released it. They have not won. Only us lucky bastards on the beta have access. Savage, if you were close, I'd have you come over for a beer and accidentally update your stuff. But I can't. Sorry. Product description on AliExpress says they can be in water but not keep them for too long. The product, hey, Cindy, the product description on AliExpress also says this is like a 55 watt light or something, and it's not. It's 30. Don't put your light underwater. Also, don't believe product descriptions. That's why you got to test. The way this came to me is another reefer turned me on to it. I was like, that sounds kind of sweet. Now I want to know. So I bought one and I tested it, and the wattage is way less than it is in the description. But the par is really good, surprisingly good, as good as an Orphic. And it's well made. So I really can't complain. It's not crap, and it works fine. Hey Juan, how you feel about that little dongle thing? If there's one thing I could change about a Kessel, it would have been a, ooh, my space bar's been on. I wonder what that means. If there's one thing about a Kessel I would change, it's that dongle, that Wi-Fi dongle they hang off that light. I would have done a product revision. I would have just done another rev and put that thing inside. But that's just a personal preference, and I haven't used it. So I can't complain that much. You like that thing, right, Juan? Yeah, I bet the next one they stick inside, and that's the way they should do it. Hopefully that's what they do. This thing, anybody taking one of these apart? Because I just did, because I cleaned it, and it was nasty. Like, it's been hanging on my tank for I don't know how long. And I have never cleaned it. And people complain about the fan noise or whatever. I couldn't hear it because the fan holes were all clogged up. Look, it's nice and clean now. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? I should take this cover and plastic dip it or something. Change the color. There was this dude at Ecotech, a customer service guy, I think. And he was awesome. He was very friendly. He takes these and he paints them with some cool original art. And I thought that was a great idea. I see wattage as consumption as opposed to output. Is that wrong? Wattage is... So, Cindy, regular lights, like quality lights, like lights that are available on the market, will publish their available power and wattage. Generally, if it is like a name brand light that is treating their customers properly, that wattage will be the no kidding power consumption of that light when all LEDs are blazing hot. Right? The same thing goes for T5s, like a 24 watt, 24 inch should be 24 watts. A lot of factors involved there, like temperature, direction that the bulb is placed in a fixture, if it's like one of those ATIs, whether like I already said, temperature, but like the fan is keeping that thing cool at the optimum temperature. Also, if you're not using a Sunfire or something like that, you may or may not get the full wattage out of that T5. Don't know, but a reputable brand will publish wattage for their control circuits and all LEDs, 100%. Because you can look at the power supply and you can see the wattage, right? Like this one. Is it going to tell me? Nope. This one, 25 watt max. Right? That's not the wattage your light's pulling. That's just what this thing's capable of doing. It's like that Red Sea LED 90. That's a 90 watt light published, but it draws 100 watts. So you just got to get a kilowatt. Get a kilowatt. They're cheap. Get a kilowatt, put your light on a kilowatt, and you'll really, really know what your light is pulling. I think those little screws that are here are supposed to hold this on, but they don't. At least not for me. Will Nelson, this is a really, really good question. Cindy, did that answer your question? Will Nelson asks, Ocean Revive Black Box or AI Prime? Two different class lights. So how big is your tank? Because I am a fan of Ocean Revive, as you may already know. I'm not sure. So here's what's inside. This is just the housing with one little plug with these tiny little wires for power, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly acceptable. That's good. And that connector was good and tight, so it's not going to fall off or whatever. So Will Nelson, what you lighting? A 40 cube. Dude, an AI Prime is not going to light a 40 cube. Zero chance. I have an Radeon XR30 running 100% over a 40 cube. So, and I used to have an Ocean Revive over that tank. So if it's me, if I'm doing it, and this is how I would do it if I didn't have a Radeon, I'd buy an Ocean Revive, and you can find them used, and you can find them cheap. Like sometimes free if you like trade stuff for them. And I would buy this light because an Ocean Revive is a whole bunch of 450. I'd put an Ocean Revive on at least 70% blue. I'd put it 30% white, and I'd add one or two of these lights to an Ocean Revive. You got AB+. It is that simple. Do that, trust me. I've done it and it works. I have tested that combination. I love my little Prime, but that thing is loud as my PS4. It's also super dim, dude. That's not a bright light. It's a very low wattage light. Bug softies, Jim, bug softies. Are you making fun of me because I can't grow softies? If you are, that's appropriate. Close enough. I've never paid a lot of attention to it. Thank you. There's this little device, and maybe I'll show it. I don't have it up here. There's this little device called a kilowatt, and you plug the kilowatt into your outlet, and then you plug your device into the kilowatt, and you push the little wattage button, and it'll show you actual wattage draw. It's probably not calibrated, but it gives you pretty good, right? Maybe plus or minus 5%. It's a cool device, and it's something worth having if you're going to test. Darn it, I keep hitting the wrong button. What if I move that way down here so I don't do that anymore? Taylor King, can you get... You Australians have it rough, don't you? I mean, you walk outside and you're in Australia, and it's probably doesn't suck that bad. Can you get Mars Aqua? Because a Mars Aqua and an Ocean Revive are like the same damn thing. Ocean Revive's got this fancy little control panel on it to control your on and off. It has a built-in timer and built-in intensity. A Mars Aqua has knobs, and then you got to put it on a timer. And a Mars Aqua puts out way more par than an Ocean Revive, but they're basically the same lights. Thank you for your info. What is that skinny light? Where you been? All right, so if you're here, you know I've done boxes and booze. This is a 470 nanometer light. If you go back and you watch Boxes and Booze 06, There's a link to this in the description. If you're going to go watch it, just hit play and then wander off to another tab or something. Give a brother some watch time. So this light. Yeah, Taylor, just get a Mars Aqua. If you're going to get a Mars Aqua, you better get a par meter. Rent one, buy one, do something, get something, steal one. Don't do that. Get a par meter because a Mars Aqua puts out a hell of a lot of light. A lot. So you got to be careful. Oh, now I got the UK guy talking to the Australian guy. Hey, UK guy, what's the history of Australia? Never mind. So, AI Prime. Big old heatsink. Nice fan. This is the Wi-Fi jobber. I'm not going to take that off because I don't want to break it, even though it looks like it's sort of whatever. This is the Wi-Fi radio. That's interesting. I think that just mounts the fan. These three just mount the fan. But you see those diodes? You see those little guys? How close can I get? Each one of these is a different color, right? Well, I mean, some of them are one color, some are another. Like maybe that might be a red, and that might be a green, and it's a white, whatever. I'd have to turn them on and put a couple pairs of sunglasses on to take a look at them and see what's up. But if you get a little crafty with like a hot air rework, a hot air soldering gun, let me look. I don't know who's laughing at what. But yeah, Ocean Revive, 2 470s, and you have AB Plus all day long. It's a really good spectrum. And I've talked to people that have Mars Aquas, and they don't have the disco ball effect that maybe some have. Where it's like dancing around, different colors dancing around on the sand. I didn't notice it when I was running my Ocean Revive. If you need a budget light, you go buy a single Mars Aqua and spend $100 on 2 of those 470 bars, you're done. You're going to grow coral all day long, and you're going to grow the fanciest damn SPS just like everybody else. It'll work well. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do I swear too much? I don't think I do. I don't think I've dropped the F-bomb. So, inside this light, it's really well made. The solder connections are all perfect. It's all machine created. It's all whatever. It's all perfect. I like this. This is how they power the pucks. And I think that's really sweet. You can follow this. You probably can't see it, but there's tiny little traces on here, and you can see what's connected to what. This is a really well-made light. What works for me, besides having 2 pairs of glasses, because one of them lets me see better, what works for me is, can a light run unattended over a freaking saltwater tank for years and not break? That's good light. Ocean Revive, good light. Mars Aqua, good light. AI Prime, good light. All those other ones I've used, I've never had a light break. I've had a light start cooking its diodes, and eventually that's going to be one of my next what's inside, because we're going to replace the diodes on that bar. But I haven't had one break, so that's worth something. So this is really not all that exciting, right? I mean, this is just a little lens. It actually has some heft to it. You can't see that. I'm sitting there talking to y'all, and you just can't see jack damn it. This lens, I like it. It's sturdy. It fits perfectly. Everything is designed nicely. Y'all know that AI and Ecotech, same company, right? Sister companies, kind of the same company. It's more the same company than the sister company. Russell, 165, dude. A 300 watt. I don't know if it's really 300 watt. I don't think I have one. I have the 165. Plenty for a 40 breeder. Wait. By two. By two over a 40. You're going to have to hang that light kind of high to illuminate the whole thing. Well, it kind of depends what you're going to grow. If you're going to grow some softies in there, if it's like mixed, maybe one it's fine. So buy one, two of the 470 bars, and then see what your par is looking like. Make a decision from that. I don't have enough information to give you an answer. So try that. One Mars Aqua, two of these 470 bars, and then check your intensity and see what's up. Make sure you hit it with a par meter. Kind of want to do 300. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Dave says he's English, and I don't swear enough. He and I, we we have some fun conversation. He says words we're not allowed to say here. You know which one. $300, I don't know that it's necessarily going to cover better, but it could. But you're going to get a lot of spill because you're going to have to hang that light higher. You're still going to be missing a whole lot of 470. You're not going to have any. You're going to have all 450 nanometer. It's all going to be royal blue. So I get it. I get your concern. I have not used the 300, so I can't speak to it. At least I don't think I have. I'll look at the light that I have downstairs. Ping me later. I'll see. Maybe it is a 300. I don't think it is. But ping me, and I'll check. So that's it. That's what's inside an AI Prime. That's what's inside. A really well-built 470 nanometer bar that everybody should be paying attention to as far as I'm concerned. I got a reef bright already. Got a reef bright already. All right, that's fine. Reef bright, you got to hang lower to get any kind of light out of it. Because it's meant to be dropped on the deck like T5s. So... yeah, man. All right. So decent point. If you get a 300, you just turn it down, right? You get a 300 and you have plenty of light and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And you just dial it back with those knobs and you're good. So if it's a decent price, have at it. Do it. Later, Dave. Have a good night, man. I'm going to do one of these early and have you on. Is that cool? Peace out. All right, I'm going to put this back together. Maybe. Let's see if I can't break it. What are your questions? Got any questions? Does anybody take apart their stuff? Please say yes. Anybody taken apart anything and been surprised by what they saw? I have. I'm calling out Mighty Nanotank right now because he's sending me texts. But he's not on my stream. And I'm going to bug him. Yeah, Dave, hit me up. Let me know what time. Let me know what's good for you. And you can't swear like you do on our texts. Hey Juan, I won't take apart your Kessel. Promise. I do have a Kessel downstairs. Lynn threw me a Kessel to test. So look. That's it. That's it. Well made. Quiet fan. Quiet enough. Just a few diodes. You can count them right there. And you go from there. I like this light. This light is good for a Pico tank. This light is not good for a big tank. This light will not light This light will not light a 20 gallon, like a 20 long. It's not going to do it. It's absolutely not going to light a 40 breeder. This is a Pico light. This is a small light. This is like a 10-gallon cube. You could probably get away with a regular 10-gallon, but this would be better over a cube. And it does a good job. And the settings are easy, and you can dial it in for AB+. I like these. I would buy another one of these maybe. One of those HD ones with the fancy ones where I can move the power around. This one's non-HD. Maybe I don't need it to be if I just put more blue diodes on there, right? Maybe I just modify it. I was thinking about selling it or giving it away. Maybe I just modify it a little bit and see what's up. Because Tyler showed me that thing over on Facebook I was talking about, and I'm intrigued by it, so I'd like to check it out. Power supplies. Old, new. I'm really psyched that this power supply from Rapid LED, and I bought 2 more. I already have 2. I bought 2 more for projects. I'm really psyched that this thing does a great job. It has no threshold, so some drivers, when you turn the power on with a switch, it's 0 point. It's lit. It has power. The light's already on. This one, you don't need to plug this into a switch. You just plug this in a regular outlet, and 0 volts for the dimming is actually off, which is beautiful. So that 470 light goes from on to off, off to on, with just 0 to 10, which I find super awesome. So shout out to Rapid LED for throwing out there a 0 to 10 volt, no threshold driver for cheap. $26. Don't raise the price. I keep making cool stuff. I'm going to do this. Let's see. I've taken apart an Ocean Revive. That's cool. Hey, Seth, I took apart an Ocean Revive and changed out all the drivers inside, the power supplies, so I could 0 to 10 dim it, and it worked. Let me know if you want to try that. I can tell you what to get. I'm building a 6 SB Reef Light black boxes, lots of burnt LEDs, rebuilding. Yeah, Bandit. I got you. How come they burn out? Does like the power or the heat sink suck or something? Because I see SB Reef lights. That's a thing, right? I mean, they. You see that? You see that flop? Yeah. Is that a thing? And if so, why is it a thing? And are there specific Dave's nano tank? Dave used to take stuff apart all the time. You know what? Billy and I talked about that. I would like to have met Dave. He did a good job. I've taken apart a Kessel. You showed me that. You had a fan thing, didn't you, Tyler? Have you thought of making hang on the glass algae scrubber similar to Santa Monica? I wouldn't do a hang on the glass. What would I do? It's not hard to make algae scrubbers. Algae scrubbers are twice as expensive as they should be. I have not made an algae scrubber, so I'm absolutely providing an opinion, and it may stink. But algae scrubbers aren't magic, right? It's super simple. So, and you don't even need red. You can do it with blue. Blue does a good job of... Red's cool, right? I mean, it makes your reef tank look cool because you got blue from the reef tank and you got red from the algae growing light or whatever. But I mean, It's an acrylic. I got a laser cutter behind me. There's no reason why I couldn't make an algae scrubber. I just haven't done it. But if I was doing it, I would create a little small box. I don't know how I would do it. I guess I could do a hang on the back. I'd probably use like a Tom's Aqua Lifter or something just to move the water. Because those things are, I mean, they last for freaking ever. And they're strong little pumps. I don't know. I could do it. I know what lights I would use, and they'd probably be daylights. They'd probably be high CRI, daylight, Japanese LED strips. Because you don't need red. Red's just gimmicky. It would be, dude, Seth, dude. We've talked about this before, right? I've talked about this on streams. I need there to be like 2 or 3 of me. And that would be unfortunate for many people. But I'd be able to get some of these projects done that I would love to do. Like getting this light done today I was psyched. I was really happy. Being able to get the J-bows. Oh, the J-bows are running. My J-bows are running on the 0 to 10 control from the Profilux 4. Getting those working was huge. And it was super simple, and I just had to do it because the eCoral glitched, and so I had to come off the eCoral for a little bit, and I needed pump control. So I'm just standing in my basement at 5 o'clock in the morning going, I was like, wait, Profilux can do that. So I set it up real quick, and it works. But I still need to clean that stuff up. I also need to make some videos of the Profilux so you all can see what kind of fun I'm having with that thing. There's no heatsink in the SB. There's a big aluminum, there is a big aluminum plate. And fans. I'm relocating the power supplies in the basement. If there is space inside the SBs to add to like thermal adhesive attach small heat sinks to add surface area, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's something you should consider. Banda Hill. If you could show me how much space is in there between the aluminum plate and the top of the case, if there's any space at all, you could throw some heat sinks in there and maybe increase the surface area to keep those things from burning out. Because you shouldn't have to replace those bulbs. That's not something that should happen these days. And if you want to get really creative, you should throw some Crees in there and really crank that thing up a little bit. But swapping them with like-for-like parts, that makes sense to me. Is it difficult to make LEDs waterproof? Yeah. It is. So, but you wouldn't have to put the lights. Seth, if you're talking about lights inside like a... wait, I'm reading and see how slow I am. I don't know where you are you going to put those lights? No. All right. So something I haven't done and something I want to try. Let me get it. Theoretically, if you made the right mold and you did it all right, you could use clear polyester casting resin with decent power supply or heat sinks, and you could make LEDs waterproof. You can't see that. You can see it here. Okay. Theoretically, but I haven't done it. What's up, Dar Sanchez? Another question. Are we sure acro power needs to be stirred? The old containers said yes, but we're not sure. That's reasonable. Yeah, see what's up. See what they say. If you send 2 little fishies a DM, Julian may respond. Because back when I was using some crap timers for dosing, one of my timers got stuck on, and my whole container of acro power dosed. So I came down in the morning, and my magnetic stir pill was flopping around in there because there was no more juice in the bottle. and that sucked. So I was freaking out a little bit. So I sent two little fishies a DM. Julian sprung. He replied, and he said, "No, you're cool. Just ride it out. You might get some cyano. Do some water changes." I was like, "All right, now I feel better," because Julian said so. But I don't know if it has to be stirred. In fact, I think the new bottle says it doesn't. It doesn't address stirring at all. There's some stuff I'll stir and some stuff I won't. I think I really want to stir Red Sea Trace colors, but I don't. I just dose. So who knows? Do I have... Hold up. Bandit. DM me, dude. Oh, unless you're not a dude, and I apologize. Using thermal adhesive. That's how you got to say it from Mrs. Doubtfire. Adhesive. This little power supply would add a ton of surface area. I mean, oh my God. Heatsink would add a ton of surface area to your aluminum bar, and you just glue these little suckers down. And they come in a bag, and you get a bunch of them. Why couldn't you put that inside? You get 6 of them. Why couldn't you put that inside an SB Reflight to increase your surface area? I haven't done it. Kind of seems reasonable. Might be worth a try. What's the worst that's going to happen? Your LEDs are going to burn out and you're going to replace them like you already do. But I bet it'll help. Something to think about. Neil, you're cracking me up, dude. Acro power needs to be stirred unless you're using it unstirred, in which case it's working just fine for you. Yes. Hey, Russell. Julian came and gave us a talk at our local club. He was talking about when the hurricane showed up and he didn't have any power and lost all the stuff and everything croaked. And then he bought some Tesla Powerwall and some solar panels and blah, 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 blah. Guess what was the inspiration, the original inspiration behind my solar backup power doohickey? So it started with Julian and then it just kept going. And now it's solar, lithium iron phosphate batteries, and a solar charge controller, which works really well. I have a Rain 2 scrubber that has submersible LEDs. Just... Yeah, Seth, I don't know why they're so expensive. They're really, I bet you the margins on those things are amazing. You ever wonder what manufacturers, what they drive? I wonder how good that business is. I suck at making new stuff though, so whatever. Reefer Noob says, that's what your... I'm waiting. Love Julian, and I've been digging. Yeah, agreed. Mike's videos are good too. I think, you know, there's so much good content out there. If you can wade your way through the drama and the blah 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 and the this is the best and all that kind of crap, right? You can find some amazingly good content out there. That's all I have. I think that's it. If you're paying attention, I brought up the stupid Allen wrenches to take apart that AI, but I didn't have to because it sort of just pulls apart because it's old. Thanks for another chat. Just listening in. That's what you're... See, I thought you were going to make a funny, like that's what she said or something like that. When getting my tank ready for SPS, it seems that other corals start to go downhill as SPS take off. Just wondering. True Reef, word. Oh, damn it. I can't grow Zoas for crap. Because if your tank is dialed in for SPS, It's probably too much light for some of those other things, and it just kills them. Like mushrooms, Rickordia, Florida. I have a hard time with those. In the frag tank, in the display, they work just fine because they're lower in the water, and there's less light in the display. Yeah, I can't grow. There are some softies I just can't grow, and it's totally because the tank is set up for acros SPS. So it ain't just you. There's a lot of people out there that are in the same boat. Russell, I feel you, dude. I can appreciate how that is probably challenging. But I can't say, right? That's got to be tough. Sorry, dude. Hopefully it picks back up. Hopefully it picks back up smartly. You know I'm in Maryland, right? And if you look at the Ocean City, Maryland boardwalk videos, like from this weekend, it's packed. Quarter of the people are wearing masks. Everybody else is walking around, hey, we're good. No, you're not. You're all going to get sick. Everybody needs to start back up smartly, or we're all going to go fall back down the hill again, or off the cliff. Yeah, True Reef, I'm sorry. That's kind of the way it is for me. I think some people out there are super successful. I don't know how they're doing it other than maybe having low light sections in their tank, because the water has to be good, right? Like if a Walt Disney's growing like a weed, the water's got to be good, but I guess it could be too clean. I guess that's a thing. I guess that's possible. But my first guess would be light. So that's where I go. All right. I think I'm going to... Oh, I got 16 people. I got 8 likes. That's very nice of everybody. I appreciate that. I think I'm going to jump off. So look, what I want to do is there's some cool... Did I talk about Remy while I was connected to the stream or not? There are some cool reefers in the UK that I'd like to talk to. Like Prestige Reef, Ryan. Michael from Aaron's Aquarium. But more importantly, the Swearing Dave from Savage Reefer. I think I'm going to do an early stream one of these days to try to get a couple of those peeps on. Maybe I could even take a break and have a Kit Kat. Have her come on. That would be fun. Just got into... Philip, I want to know, man. I want to know what's up. Nothing says a quality Sunday like fighting with your ex-wife over Ocean City. I'm sorry. Weird question. What's your favorite fish? I don't ever hear you talk about fish. True story. I don't talk about fish because I have inappropriate fish in my fish tank and I don't show them because I don't want any of that kind of hate. If you watch Moki's video when he did a feature of my crazy batch crazy system, you'll see what fish I have. And I have those fish, and I still have those fish for a very specific reason. And it's not because I can't give them up. It's because I don't want them to die. So, what's my favorite fish? My favorite fish is a copper band butterfly. My second favorite fish is a blue tang. And I've had both for a while. Reefer noob, that's what she said. Yeah, so I love my copper band butterfly. That copper band butterfly is a beast. It eats anything. No, it doesn't eat anything. It eats blackworms and it eats mysis shrimp like they're going out of style. Blackworms and mysis. It won't eat pellets or flakes at all. It's like, nope, not doing it. but it eats Aptasia. I have Aptasia in the tank. Like a lot of people have Aptasia in the tank. It eats Aptasia. It just wrecks them. It destroys them. It hunts them down and just kills them. And it loves them. I can hold a coral in the tank where that fish is, and it'll walk right up and it'll hunt that thing right off of whatever I'm holding. It loves to eat those things, and it's really good about them. I bought a blue tang when it was a baby, and it has tried to die on me 2 or 3 times, and I saved it. And it's an old fish, and it's scarred up, and it's happy, and it's friends with the other fish in the tank, and it hangs out, and it's a wonderful fish to have, and it shows no aggression at all. It's really happy fish. I mean, it can't talk to me, so I really don't know. Maybe it's flipping me off all day long, and I can't see it. Maybe it's calling me an a-hole. I don't know. But it eats, and it's happy, and it's friends with the other fish. It hangs out with them, so I'm cool, you know? Oh, Phil. I'm sorry. That's rough. That's a rough situation. I'm assuming you are on the side of caution, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. There's absolutely no need to rush it. There are plenty of nice lakes and stuff around where you can go and have fun. You don't need the beach. Hell, drive out to Western Maryland. You see the numbers out there? Go out to Deep Creek. Ain't no sick people out there. Go hang out on whatever. Go hang out. Get a kayak. Goof off there. I would avoid Ocean City and the boardwalk like the plague. Pun intended. That's it. It's a one glass kind of conversation. All right, y'all. I hope you learned something tonight. I did. I enjoy taking these things apart. I absolutely learned to hit the live button before I go live because that really matters. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here talking to myself for 45 or 15 minutes, and that's not doing anybody good. Anthony, you can ask any question you want, man. I shall wait here. Neil, try the Easy Reef mastic and mix the mastic with the flakes and the pellets. I will not. Maybe I will. Neil, I bring in blackworms for that fish because I don't want to have an argument with it. I feed that thing more blackworms than I should. And it eats them up, and it eats and eats and eats. And sometimes it eats so much it throws up, and then it keeps on eating. I try to keep that fish happy because I hear they're picky, but this one just keeps eating. So I'm cool with it. It's a good idea, though. Did I miss it? What's up, Aaron Shapiro? Great show. Coral Frenzy. Hey, Ken. What's up, man? When are you going to come on? I saw that you called me yesterday, and I apologize. I was walking around the lake with the family. Can we catch up this week? Let me know what you're doing tomorrow. Send me a text. Thanks for the awesome. I got a DM me. Please, Anthony, please feel free to. I will absolutely try to help. If I don't know, like I always say, I'll find somebody that might be able to help you. But you're going to get some experience answers from me, not opinions, generally, for the most part. I didn't know you were lurking in there, Ken. Where's the question? Thanks for the awesome stream. I got a DM you sometime about the lights anyway. Okay, if you want to wait for the question, but you got us all waiting, we're just gonna wait here. I'm gonna wait here for a question. I'm gonna work on my hair. Hair's growing. Question's not. What's up? We will definitely talk this week. Cool. Yeah. Coral Frenzy. That is the food I have fed my fish like ever since I've bought pellets. So that's Ken. And Ken is cool. And I really enjoy talking with him. If you haven't tried, this is not an advertisement. This is legit I know what my fish eat, except for the stupid copper band butterfly. And every single one of them, every single day, eats Coral Frenzy. That's the only pellet I feed my fish. Not an advertisement. It's legit, and it works. Those are fat fish, and they're happy. Yeah, we all want to hear the question, Anthony. Still waiting. Still waiting. Hey, John, how are you? John, those corals are still alive, man. I need to get a question. Oh, here's the question. I always try to catch you live when I can, but I always watch first thing in the morning. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Ken. My ALK stays low, around 7 to 7.5, but my magnesium and calcium are at 1400, 450. If you do a catch-up dose of your ALK, like I don't know how big your tank is and what's your 24-hour, do me a favor, Anthony Rodriguez, do me a favor and don't dose alkalinity for 24 hours. Actually, don't dose anything for 24 hours. Take an alkalinity reading. 24 hours later, take an alkalinity reading. And tell me what that drop is. And let's have a conversation in DM. And then maybe we can talk about it next week or something. Does that make sense? Aaron Shapiro, pellet food versus frozen food. There's no versus. That's a yes. It depends on the fish. Like that stupid copper band ain't going to eat Ken's food. No matter how hard I tried in quarantine, it ate pellets, it ate Coral Frenzy one time, and that was it. So I think that fish is an a-hole, and it doesn't know what it's being fed. So it's not a versus as much as it is it's a yes. It's feed what you need to feed. Every single fish I have, except for that copper band, will eat Coral Frenzy. And then I got to feed the fish, and then I got to shoot the Coral Frenzy into the LPS that I want to feed. Otherwise, the fish is going to go eat more. It just keeps eating that stuff. But frozen food, so like frozen mysis, if I don't want to feed blackworms, that's what I feed the copper band because it'll eat it. So I think it's a yes. I think it's not an or. I think it's absolutely a yes. Can you put a link for the power supply? Cross 36. You want me to put a link for the Rapid LED power supply right now? If you go to Rapid LED to dimmable drivers, actually I should be doing this so you could see it. Can I do that? Let me see. I'm not sure that I can add, maybe I can add a, please hold while I figure out if I can do this. Display capture. Okay. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. Whoa, that was trippy. Let me try again. Display capture. Add existing. No, I don't want to do that. If I add a window, Chrome. Hey, here we go. This is what's up. All right, this is Rapid LED. Y'all can see that, yeah? I'm going to scooch this in like this right there. You don't need to see me, do you? Oh, we can get fancy. Ready? Let me, you know what I'm not seeing? I'm not seeing anybody talking. Can't see chat. Please hold. All right, now I'm good. Mine eat everything. Joe's just a little mixy mix. I agree with that mixy mix. The blackworms, I buy those things. I buy a pound of blackworms. All of the fish eat that crap. Jim, what's your experience with calcium reactors? 0, John. I am a doser. Half a gallon of calc and 85 milliliters of 2-part every day. I will at some point get a calcium reactor. I'm heading that way. How many times a day do you feed? Once, Russell. I feed at night. I feed the frag tank in the morning, and I feed the display at night. Basic question, but everyone's different. I have a stupid fish load. Feed when your fish are hungry, bro. That's what I say. Trying to calculate how much alk my reactor is adding. Can you do a 24-hour drop test, John? And no? That's the only thing that comes to mind. What would be a good... Philip, what are you asking me, dude? Type it again. These are drivers for the cheap strips. These are dimmable drivers for the... Yeah, let me get to that. These are dimmable drivers, $26, for the AliExpress 470 bars. So you can control dimming of those bars, and I think a Reef Bright, and I think an Orphic, if I try. These are just guesses. I haven't done it with just this light, or with this power supply. So this sucker right here is what I'm using to power that bar. Cool. Who was that? I'm sorry. Cross 36. That work for you, man? Or miss? Half gallon of calc. Yes, a half gallon of calc every day. Half gallon of calc and 85 milliliters of 2-part every single day in a, I don't know, 80 gallons? 80-gallon system? SBS heavy. Calcium reactor all day, every day. Reef Keeper. I'm going to do this because people do this. Why? I get it. I get the advantage. Or I know I get that it works, but I don't understand the advantage. I'm dropping 2.25 DKH every day, and I'm making that up with dosing, and it's working just fine. My assumption would be I would be just as successful with a calcium reactor, but I don't know that it is any different. So that's what I'm asking. And I'm also dosing trace, so I'm getting that out of Resi Trace colors. So I don't know that there's an advantage to a calcium reactor because I find dosing really simple. But I would really appreciate the opinion and the experienced opinion. Who's asking about the BioCube? Juan, I missed it. I'm sorry. Trying to... Oh. Juan, I think you're right. How big is the cube, Philip? And do we want to take... We could take this offline. You could DM me, and that's cool. How many strips can you run off of one drive? You can run... So this is similar to a Reef Bright, right? I'm going to switch cameras, sorry. This light, this is similar to a Reef Bright. And with one of these power supplies, you can run one of these lights. But you can gang together the 0 to 10 to control their dimming concurrently. Now that's for the 24-inch. The next size up, I would have to look. I don't know if the math supports it, but it might. Could you use something like this to make an Ocean Revive dim? To make an Ocean Revive dim, I've done it, and that requires 2 new power supplies. Oh, 24 JBJ. I need to look it up. Let's look it up for everybody. It's a 24 gallon. An Ocean Revive will totally work. Is it this? Does it look like? No. is it this with a little lid thingy? Oh, now I got to look back and see what you were asking me because I don't know. Oh, how come it's not showing the screen? That's unfortunate. Huh. Here it is. This? Is that the tank you're talking about? Is that right? Reef Keeper, is that Phil? Do I have that right? I'm going to try to remember that, and I suck at it. Interesting. So that's my assumption, right? I'm making the assumption that dosing 2-part, potentially also calc, with Red Sea trace colors is essentially the same thing as running a calcium reactor with good media, and I would base that assumption on ICP testing. Is that a safe assumption to make? Because I think it is. So if both of the ICPs are coming back with trace where they should be, maybe I'm doing it, but your way, your first costs are more expensive, maybe, but your ongoing costs would be lower than what I'm doing. Is that fair? Let me know what you think. Yeah, because a calcium reactor is going to drop pH because of the CO2 used to dissolve the little rock chunks, the media, right? So that makes sense to me. So you're just counteracting that, but you're also adding balanced calcium and alkalinity. That makes sense to me. Russell, would you consider that 470 a high mount? Yes, I would, because it's a focused lens. I want to run 436 and 424 strips. John, I don't have a 36-inch. Let me look at that. And maybe I'll buy one just to test. 4 24 inches would perfectly drive with the rapid LED drivers and would be dimmable. And you could gang those dims together. So it would take just like 1 0 to 10 interface to make that happen. Multiple ICP tests. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I'm an ICPer. I think you probably know that. John Curry coming in with his 5 liters. Hold on. John Curry's got a much bigger system than I do. I can certainly say that. That's 1.3 gallons every day. John, what else are you doing? Are you also doing a calcium reactor? Have you told me this? You may have told me that. I do have to add potassium and iodine once a week. Yeah, so I'm getting that out of trace, I think. I don't know about potassium. I know iodine I am. Cross 36. I went to the link, and the LED strip is the difference for the wattage is its size. Cross 36. What are you asking me? The 24-inch AliExpress light. Don't pay attention to the wattage on the website because they're full of crap. It's actually 30 watts. Apex Breakout Box. Does Apex Breakout Box give you 0 to 10? Or isn't that just switched interface? I didn't think that was 0 to 10. What gives you 0 to 10 on an Apex? I don't have that. I'm confused, Darren. My bad. So this particular light with a hood, let me get back to that. Take this hood off. right? Do you need that hood? And what's the size of this tank? 18 inch by that. You don't need a big light. An AI Prime HD, or whatever the new one's called, might be enough. But a Hydra 26, if you could find that used, would totally be enough. I would look at those two lights. Yeah, the EB832 is the power strip, right? That's what I thought. I didn't think it was on the breakout box. Breakout box is just switched interface, right? I should do a DIY video on modifying LED strips so I don't have to. I will. So Cross36, if you're asking me to do a video on changing out the LEDs, on that 470 bar, that'll happen. I'll do that because I'm going to do that. Reactor for bulk of the work. Aquaforest is 0 UN. But you're doing calc on top of all of that too, right? Holy crap. How much water? John, how much water do you have? A cheap DIY wireless 0 to 10 volt controller. Bandit. That would make money. Because there ain't. And if you could hook that up to an Arduino so you'd have an interface that you could control it with, even better. An Arduino can do 0 to 10, can't it? Because if it can, then you don't need wireless. And I agree with Juan. It is a great time to buy used lights. With the new AI radon lights coming on, a lot of people upgrading, selling their perfectly fine lights for cheap. I would argue that there's very little difference between a Gen 4 and a Gen 5 Radeon. Juan has an excellent point. Running AI HD, but don't want fish to jump out. John Curry rolling in with the 400 gallons. There it is. Hey, John, when this is all done, can I buy you chicken and come over? Because I would really love to see that. There's a couple people's systems I would like to see, and yours is one of them. Because in my mind, I can't possibly comprehend that much freaking water when I'm rolling with like 80 gallons. And I would just love to see how you have that set up, how you have it all plumbed. And I'd like to learn from that. Philip, can you make one? Can you do a DIY screen top for your tank just by using a kit? Can I? I can't. Because I can do 19.5 by 11 on my laser. So I can't quite cover your tank. I could cover it in 2 pieces maybe. I've never done that. Yeah, I'd really like to see what you got going on. I know there's so I know an Arduino will take care of PWM, but I don't know about 0 to 10, and it would be pretty sweet if there were. I mean, you could also get a PWM dimmer and hook it up to this thing. I mean, you can look at the specs and you can see what you're doing, right? If you get something that's 700 milliamps and it's PWM, then you can totally use an Arduino to do the dimming. There's no reason why you couldn't. Reef Octobook pumps are on the 0 to 10 ports. Say Apex Brain. Gotta bring the Mambo sauce. I got the Mambo sauce for the chicken. I'm still waiting. I'm not sure. John said yes. Just saying. Artfully Acrylic. I've been there in Virginia, and That's a cool place. Back when they were also selling fish. It's too bad that they closed down the fish side. But I totally agree with Phillips. I mean with jeez. With Phil's take on Artfully Acrylic. Those are good guys. And they make very high quality stuff. I've been there, I've seen it. All right, 9/11. Man, I've been on for a long time. Woo! Who's streaming? Anybody streaming? I can pass this off? I'm not sure anybody is. Still waiting for John Curry to say it's okay to come over and play. It's not like, I mean, I can't bring any coral because John's already got them all. Like, it's like he got to the end of the internet and he's all, I'm good. I got him. But I could bring chicken. That's a really good question. Ken at Coral Frenzy asks, what is your favorite camera that works with your Apex? Oh, see, I guilted John into it. That's really nice. See, I don't do that. I don't hook up a camera to a controller. I just use my Nest cams with a snapped in half and arm snapped off, orange glasses stuck to the lens, and it works perfectly. Juan, you're jumping in and providing good information. I appreciate that. Actually, I appreciate everybody jumping in here. Phil and Ken and John, everybody. All right, y'all, I'm going to jump off because I got to go tend to this business. See what's going on downstairs. I really appreciate everybody jumping on tonight. This was a really good. This is pretty chatty, and I like it, Chen. Can you see? Now I got to hang out. Now I feel bad. Do you have an old iPhone? They work great for Apex interface. That is true too. Yeah, once the voodoo's over, John. I agree. I think we'll do our best to try to get together. All right. I think that's it. If there are any questions, always feel free to DM me. I do my best to get back. I try really hard to make that happen. Sit down and have coffee in the morning and answer questions or provide links or provide opinions or answers or whatever. Some of them are actually good. Some of them suck. And it's up to you to decide how good they are. Hopefully this works out. I'd love to hear that this helps with an SP and the LEDs given up. That would be amazing. Thank you all very much. As always, I really, really, really appreciate you being here and hanging out. The chat was super busy tonight, and that's amazing. I think that's great when that happens. So I hope you all have a good night. Thanks, everyone. Happy reefing, and be kind.